All right, so this is this week's episode of Whole Wheat Costa. Tried to say it like JD does since he's sick today. It's real awkward because the one video I recorded at home before, I was the only one home. Kelly and Allie are upstairs sleeping, so I feel real self-conscious about talking to myself on a camera right now. But we'll try it out. I'm going to hopefully maybe try to record for a little bit longer than like the 5 minutes I did before. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. Still feel pretty self-conscious about this. I feel like when it's me and JD talking and there's no camera, we're basically just talking to each other, but into a microphone, and it's pretty much fine. This is significantly more different and awkward, but we'll do it. I also, looking at my forehead wrinkles the whole time, got the real Gordon Ramsay look going on, I feel like. Young Gordon Ramsay with the forehead wrinkles. I've had them since I was like 10. I don't know. Forever. I don't know. I don't know. I was trying to figure out what to do with this too. I was looking around at my computer to see if I can actually incorporate my computer into this. I don't know how to flip the screen around so you guys can actually see that, but at least I have stuff on my screen beside it, which you can probably see in the reflection of my glasses. Don't know how to fix that yet either. Probably future Soul episodes of Whole Wheat Costa will feature less glare. Maybe you'll see my eyeballs. I'm not sure. I was trying to get them in there. I feel like too. This is I always like the WIP morning show for the sports radio with Angelo Cataldi, but I never liked Angelo Cataldi. His co-host was way more likable, and I know that everyone listens to Whole Wheat Costa for me. So I feel like it's one of those Al Morganti, Keith Jones episodes of Whole Wheat Costa, minus anyone that talented. But yeah, it was a real disappointing day because JD texted me this morning that he had bronchitis and he had no voice, and I was like, well, could you have a voice by 8 p.m.? And he said no. So then, or he said, but try. But then I replied back, well, I mean, it's fine. You just set up the recording equipment, and then I'll just talk. Again, this is who our fan comes for. But then I thought it was good. I didn't get a response, and then my normal podcast day is pretty tight. It's get done work a little bit late. Try to eat dinner before Allie has dancing school, because if I eat dinner afterwards, then we're recording in the middle of the night, and JD gets real cranky and it's rushed, and those are the bad podcasts. Essentially, if I ate dinner after and got into his house late, those are bad podcasts. The real entertaining ones, I got there by 7:30. Just so you know, in the future, if you're a bad podcast, I ate dinner afterwards or I ate dinner late. So I ate dinner, ate at McDonald's, which I didn't want, but it was fast. Was getting ready to go over, and then he's like, "No, we're not doing it. I'm sick." I was like, "Okay." So I was like, "I'll do it myself." It's a real birthday podcast. So it was my son's birthday last week. My dad's birthday 2 days ago. Our only confirmed listener's birthday is today, so I feel like we had to do this podcast in some form or another. I'm pretty sure our dad listens to some of these too, so it's basically all of our listeners had a birthday this week. Yeah, I don't know. It was an okay weekend. I went to a birthday party for somebody else on Saturday. Blew up my dad's birthday, which I felt a little awkward about, because I feel now being the dad, I know that nobody cares about our birthday, so I feel bad blowing off his birthday. But I mean, I went over Sunday and stuff, but still, I felt a little weird going to a party for somebody else. It's pretty fun though. I never get to go to anything because I'm usually out of work. It's work one weekend and I have Sam the next weekend. So it was the first time I've gotten to go to something in a while. So yeah, it was pretty fun. Ran into someone who was a former patient, and it's really embarrassing how bad I am with faces and stuff. I do remember names pretty well. Someone told me her name later, and I knew exactly who she was. But she basically was like, "Ah, you're my nurse practitioner." I was like, "Yeah." And then she was like, "Oh yeah," and she mentioned the one doctor I work with. She was like, "Oh, you guys saved my kidney," and I was like, "Yeah." And she was like, "Oh, do you know who I am?" And I was like, "Yeah." So I don't know. I wish I was better at that stuff. When I was doing like my training stuff, this primary care doctor that I was in his office for a few months, he remembered everybody. And he would see so many patients because, he did a lot of homework on his end. I mean, he'd review charts. I mean, basically every lunch was reviewing charts for like the afternoon. He'd review stuff in the morning before he came to work. But I mean, he would. I mean, as a student, you go see a patient, you come back, and you'd like say the name, and then you'd be like, "Oh, what's going on with them?" And you tell them, he's like, "Yeah, I know. I mean, this is what they need." He knew every person in his practice. It was pretty awesome, and it let him be super efficient. Um, I don't know. He would like try to trick you sometimes. He'd be like, "Oh, it's this person. This is what's going on." He'd be like, "How many fingers are on their right hand?" It's like, I don't know. He's like, I thought he examined them, and I was like, yeah, I don't know. Um, he just remembered everything. So I wish it could be more like that. Um, but I'm not. But anyway, so that and then there was a stupid Philadelphia Marathon this weekend, which I was real irked about because I worked this weekend, and it's my own fault because I looked at like a website that talked about like one of the news websites says the roads are closing at like 6:55, and I was like, well, I'll be in work by then. That's fine. I wasn't worried about it. But really, the city website said they closed at like 2, which I don't know why. No one was running at 2 a.m. So I got off 95 at like 6:25, and every road downtown was closed. So I don't know, parked a million miles away. I was like one of the first people to get in, even with that. Um, the one person we were working with got in like 4 hours late, and she's basically just like, you know what? I just said fuck it. I just drove back home and then took the train in after driving around for a while. So, which nobody really blamed her for. It was like a ridiculous situation. Like when you have like essential personnel, like you have to let them into the city. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I guess we knew the marathon was happening. I just didn't know how bad the impact was going to be. So I mean, it's our fault too. But we just always assume that we can get through because we're essential personnel. But I guess the city of Philadelphia doesn't care. They needed some morons to run in the rain. So we worked about that. I have a little thing of notes on the side, and I wanted to talk about Doug Peterson. Like not really football talk, but just like as a manager. But I misspelled it as Doe Peterson. So what else? But the one thing I was thinking about at work though that I thought was kind of cool was so there's this thing. So there's all these different different scores for like keep track of patients and stuff, and different scales, and there's this thing called the Muse score. It's like this early warning system score. I don't know what the M stands for. But it looks at all these different parameters for like inpatients of like if their urine output's good, if their oxygen level's good, like if they're febrile, if their like white blood cell counts are high. And it's essentially to like prevent like sepsis and things, stuff like that, to catch it really early while you can basically head it off. But what I found though is it really gamifies like they like taking care of patients, which I think is pretty cool. I don't know if that, and who knows, maybe that was even part of the intent. Because I know like we sort of joked about it at first, like all our people's Muse scores are fine. Well, it's like, well, your one guy looks terrible. Yeah, but his Muse score is fine. Like, don't even worry about it. But we definitely look at it now and like talk about it. Like, you look at your patient and be like, oh, this is like Muse score is higher. Like, what's the reason? And then like you want to get it down. And it's like, oh, well, it's like respirations aren't good. It's like, okay, well, like that guy's using the same problem. I'm getting that Muse score down. or or the patient, I don't know, whatever, like has their urine output's low, and it's like, oh, I'm gonna do my eyes and nose right now. I'm getting the mu score down. So I think it definitely positively impacts patient care. I don't know if that was the intention at all, or if that was thought about, but I don't know. I sort of have the Extra Credits website in the background of this thing here, so which made me think of like how powerful gamification tools can be. I have no idea why there's like flashing lights outside of my house. I feel like it just randomly happens sometimes. I live on like a pretty good street, so I don't know why in front of my house in particular. We see that a lot, but you can sort of see it in the background. But yeah, so that was interesting. I'd love to hear JD's comments on these things. I feel like we're going to talk extensively more about all this stuff. But yeah, I was sort of clicking around my computer to look for things to talk about, and like I have this, my like favorites bar on Google Chrome has like all this weird stuff that I probably put on here a long time ago. Flashing light's still out there. The first one, hang on, it just freaks me out that the video went away for a second. So the first one, I own this shirt, but I have the Extra Credits website up, so that's what made me think of to put it up. So it's for one of their videos was called "Fail Faster," and I think it's like a great slogan and idea. You can also see the bunny in the background pretty well right now. But the shirt says, "Fail faster. No idea is made fully formed from the creator." So it's no idea is made fully formed. I think the speech is from the creator's head or whatever. And it's your ego can't be protected. Your ideas can't be precious. Every failure is a chance to get it right. And I think that's so cool. That's like, I mean, this video probably sucks, but like we're doing it and gonna hopefully get better at doing this stuff. I don't know. We're kind of at the point with the podcast where, initially, when we were talking about it, I'm sure we talked about this before for everyone that's listened to all of our videos or, podcasts. This is only the second video, so someone very well may have listened to all of the videos. But when we first started doing it, we essentially just wanted to like hang out and like mess around and just record some stuff. I thought it'd be fun, and we get to hang out because we're both like pretty busy, so we didn't really get to do that a lot. And then we made like 20 of these at least episodes. We haven't released them all yet, but I think we released like most of them. We're like maybe 4 behind, and we're at the point like I kind of want someone to listen to them. Like most of our videos have like a dozen views on YouTube. I don't use the iTunes store, so I have no idea how our actual podcast stuff's going on iTunes. But I just see the YouTube stuff. I think we have like 4 or 5 like YouTube subscribers now, which after me and JD means like 2 or 3. But I don't know. I think it'd be cool if people actually start listening. Maybe it's like a small following. It'd be cool, but I mean, we'll still keep making them either way. We were talking about making a Instagram for the podcast, so that instead of just me posting on my Instagram, so you could put all the stupid hashtags and crap, and maybe people would find it by accident. Our Snapchat story was accidentally picked up, which netted us 0 additional views by like some weird coffee website or something. But yeah, so I don't know. I had other random tabs up here. Well, one was about podcasting actually. There's something interesting here that I don't know where it is now on this page. I don't know. Oh, that's what it was. It talks about like sponsored podcasts and how many people buy the products, which I only thought interesting because one of the links I had at the top of my page, my favorite bars, was the Bob Vila website. I don't know why, bobvila.com. I guess when I was like working on house stuff like a long time ago. Even so, doesn't appear to be a particularly helpful website. It looks like it says Bob Vila, tried, true, trustworthy home advice. But it's just like clickbait stuff, but like really boring stuff, like 10 things to buy if you're always cold. And it's like a heated blanket and like 2 different heated mugs. and a heated lotion dispenser, which like sounds like inappropriate. Uh, so there's that. So I think that's why I found the podcasting like interesting. Um, there's also something. I can't think of their name right now. Oh, Vsauce, like the biggest internet, YouTube channel. His videos like take off for like millions and millions and millions of views and stuff. Um, the they one of their like things to do. So it's their Dong series, things to do online now, guys. I remember a long time ago I had this thing. It was like the death clock, so I like apparently favored it like a long time ago. I'm kind of curious to do it now. It's so you enter in your information and it tells you when you're likely to die. So let's figure out BMI first. I'm 5'7", about 220 pounds probably still now, even though I've been hopefully lost some weight. My BMI is 34, so I'm obese. So let's see, so my birthday, it's 1984, male. You can think of as normal, pessimistic, or optimistic. I'll go normal. I'm a non-smoker. My BMI is 34. So according to deathclock.com, I will likely die on January 15th, 2056. And I have approximately 1,203,000,000 seconds left to live. Which is real creepy. Let's see, so what would that, so 50, I can't do this math here. Try to math this out. Where's a calculator? Calculator, okay. Let's calculator this. I really can't do math right now. So 2056 minus 1984, it's going to be 72. I've always had a weird feeling that I was going to live till age 83. I don't really know why, but that's pretty much what I've always thought since I was like a little kid. So I guess we'll see if that works out. I mean, it very well could. I mean, I've got pretty bad genetics, obese as we say, with the BMI of 34, but it could work out. I don't really feel like talking about the Doug Peterson thing anymore. I don't think anybody. I guess I still would because it's not. We're not like a sports podcast, but it's only relevant to really Eagles fans probably. But I think it's relevant to everybody because I've been a manager at various times in life, like managed people, and so I mean I'm not great at it, but like I sort of know what not to do or what I sort of can avoid what not to do. So it pains me when you see people that like get it wrong and stuff. But I think Doug Peterson seems to get it right for a couple of reasons I think are interesting. There's a running back on the Eagles this year, who the first 3 games of the year was basically he was big name player. First 3 games of the year almost didn't use him at all, and he came out and he complained and he said, "This is ridiculous. Why'd you even sign me?" And like why am I here? And I really feel like a lot of coaches, with the big egos and stuff, would have been like, well, fine, we're not going to play him, we're going to cut him or something. And Doug Peterson appears to have said, like, we'll prove it, because since then he's gotten a lot of chances and he's proved it. And I just think that's cool when like a guy just as a manager basically gets it. I don't know that it's not about his ego; it's about like the best thing for the team. So I think that's cool. I think it's a good lesson for anybody. And I like too, he like rewards his folks. Like you see a lot, like a guy will make a big play and get them close to the end zone, and then the next play goes to that guy again. Like, okay, well you got us here. Now you get a chance to like get the big payoff and get the touchdown. Which then get you the stats and the contracts and stuff. And I think that stuff's cool too. To give as I don't know, just to reward guys. So it seems like he's just a good like managerial person. I don't know about all the X's and O's and stuff, but like he seems to get people a little bit. So I don't know. I don't have anything else to talk about. Yeah. Yeah, I think I talked about slow. I had written down here too about this Night Mind, the YouTube channel that does a lot of like spooky stuff. He did this how to make a web series, which is pretty interesting. But it talks specifically about like horror web series. But I had it written here, I think, to talk about what I talked about earlier, which was about the about wanting people to listen. Like his thing was basically, in he has like introduction video, and then he has like specific paths depending on what sort of video you want to make. And his first thing, he says, you need to think about why you want to make a web series. Do you want to make it because you love the content? Do you want to make it because you have this great idea that you want to bring to life? Or do you want to make it because like you want the rewards of that? So I think we started doing this thing for the right reasons, because we just wanted to hang out and talk about stuff. I don't think we had a great idea or concept. There's nothing particularly interesting that we do, but I don't know. But I think naturally, like, after putting, like 24 hours of our lives into this or more, which isn't a lot in the grand scheme of things, but it's not nothing either. It'd be cool if somebody listened. So hopefully that happens at some point. I think that's about it. So that's this week's whole week Costa.